beginning from 106A1, Kuf Vav Amid Aleph. In the 106A1, Tanu Rabbanon Zachar Es Yom HaShabbos L'Katshei.
Very good. Okay.
Okay, everybody see it? It's the right-hand column, the last paragraph in the right-hand column. It's about 7 lines from the top on Kuf Vav Amid Aleph, and that happens to be today's daf. Okay, so we're actually on the daf. Okay, so here we go. We have exactly 29 minutes before I have to get off. So, here we go. Says the Gemara, Tanu Rabbanan, the Rabbanan say, and again, we've been discussing here off and on, how do we handle Kiddush, how do we handle Havdalah, in the various different connotations. And so we came up with one thing that was very clear, and we just took it for a fact, that the nighttime, the Friday night Kiddush is the most important Kiddush. It's the Kiddush that sanctifies Kiddush. It makes holy the day. That's the bracha that begins with Vayechulu, Baruch Agafen, and then the bracha, Baruch Atah Hashem, Elokeinu Melech Haolam, and it will make Kaddish Shabbos. Right? And that's the most important. And the daytime Kiddush is sort of like a throw-in. We sort of do it. So what exactly is going on? So it says the Gemara, Tanu Rabbana. The Pasuk says, Zachar es Yom HaShabbos L'Katshei. Remember the day of Shabbos to sanctify it. That Pasuk has got a lot of extra pieces to it. HaShabbos, the Shabbos with the Hey HaYediyah, the extra Hey. Instead of saying Zachar es Yom Shabbos L'Katshei, it says Zachar es Yom HaShabbos L'Katshei. So we've got to count for that extra Hey, known in Shas, in the Talmud, as the Hey HaYediyah. That's coming to, it's like an arrow pointing. You got to learn something. Right. Number 2, the word Yom. If I could have just simply said Zachar es HaShabbos L'Katshei. What is Zachar es Yom HaShabbos L'Katshei? So that word Yom at the beginning sort of confuses the Gemara. Says the Gemara, Zachar es Yom HaShabbos L'Katshei, Zachreu ala yayin. This is a commandment that the Shabbos should be remembered over a cup of wine, because there are psukim all over the place that compare remembering to wine, or wine to remembering. Specifically, the 4th pasuk in Shira Shirim. If you take a look at the Shira Shirim, which you can always find right before Kabbalah Shabbos, right in the first parak of Shira Shirim, in the 4th pasuk you'll see where it says Zachreu ala yayin, essentially to remember over wine. So, Ainli ala b'noim. I only know from this pasuk, a simple reading of this pasuk, thinks the Gemara at this moment in time that I only have to make Kiddush by day. It says Yom HaShabbos, V'layla minayin. How do I know that I have to do Kiddush at night as well? Talmud Loima, therefore the pasuk says, and now we're on 106A2. 106A2, Zachar es Yom HaShabbos L'Katshei. So the Gemara says, what kind of answer is that? How does the pasuk just say, how does this pasuk show me it's nighttime? So says the Gemara, V'layla minayin. You started off your question by saying, how do I know the nighttime? Adarabba, just the opposite. Ikin kedusha b'layla hu. The main kiddush, the main obligation to sanctify the day is at night. Why? When one sanctifies a day, you sanctify the day at the beginning of its day. When does a day start in Judaism? It starts at night. Vahi erev, vahi voiker. It was an evening and it was a day. In other words, when does it start? It starts at night. Friday night is the start of Shabbos. That's at the logical time to sanctify. That's question number one. So your question doesn't get off the table. What do you mean? How do I know how to do it at night? Vesu, you want to tell us, how do I know nighttime, Talmud Lama, because it says, Zachar es yoim. Tana mahada alayla. The Tana is trying to find proof that you need to make Kiddush at night, because they call the Yoma, and he brings a pasuk that's talking about the day. So what's going on here? So it says the Gemara, you're right, the text of the Baraisa is corrupted, and Hachi Kama, this is what it really is saying. Remember the day of Shabbos to make it holy. That's a commandment to remember the Shabbos day over a cup of wine upon its commencement. In other words, when the nighttime comes in, because that's when the Jewish day begins. It was a night, it was a day. So it begins. So how this, from there I only know that I have to say Kiddush at night. By Yomi, how do I know that I even have to say it by day? Talmud Loima Zocher es Yoim HaShabbos. The pasuk could have simply said Zocher es HaShabbos L'Kadshoy by adding in the word Zocher es Yoim HaShabbos. The word Yoim, day, is extra. The pasuk simply could have said Zocher es HaShabbos L'Kadshoy. The fact that it says Zocher es Yoim HaShabbos L'Kadshoy tells us that the Shabbos day, the emphasis is on the day that even the daytime has a Kiddush. Says the Gemara, so in the daytime, what bracha do you make? If at night you go ahead and you do the actual main Kiddush, the Kiddush Rabbah, the great Kiddush, the Kiddush that it sanctifies the day of Shabbos, what's necessary by day after I've already sanctified it by night? Rabbi Yehuda, simple, Bari Priya Gofen. To simply make a Bari Priya Gofen. Why? So what's the big deal about a Bari Priya Gofen? But because that's not the point. The wine is always used as the thing to celebrate HaKadosh Baruch Hu. What is the main nisachim on the Mizbeach? What's the main libation that is brought together with the kabbanis on the altar in the Beis HaMikdash? It's wine. Right? The pouring of the wine. They poured wine together with the kabbanis on the mizbech. Why wine? Because wine has a chashivas, has a special connotation that holiness and wine are connected. So, Rabbi Yehuda, you make a simple Bari Priya Gofen, and that's what we do. Yeah, Daddy.
No, I was just thinking something. I think it makes sense. Because when we make Kiddush during the day, we usually say V'shomer b'nei Yisrael before that, right? Why do we say it? Why are we saying it? So I was thinking, you'd let me know if you think it's right. Because by saying just Bari Priya Gofen, you're not indicating a Kiddush, because anytime you drink wine, you have to make Bari Priya Gofen. So therefore we say V'shomer b'nei Yisrael, all those things before, to indicate that this Bari Priya Gofen is not just a broch on the wine, it's a broch on the Kiddush.
So that I think you're absolutely correct, because I think that you are correct, but that is certainly a minhag, not a din.
No, it's not a din.
No, it's not a din.
But I think the reason why we say it is to
make the connection. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, and also if you think about it, the most important thing is Al Kin Beirach Es Yom HaShabbos V'Kadesh Samim B'Ronon. Some people just say those words. Al Kin Beirach Es Yom HaShabbos V'Kadesh. And again, I think it's because to tie that really it's all Bari Priya Gofen. But why are we doing this Bari Priya Gofen? Because of Shabbos. Right. I think you're absolutely correct.
For drinking. Right.
Just to make it welcome. But at the end of the day, lahalacha, what's needed is Amar Rabbi Yehuda Bari Priya Gofen.
Is enough, yeah.
So, right, and here we go. Rabbi Ashi Itle Mechuzah. Rabbi Ashi visited the city of Mechuzah. On the way, they said to him on the Shabbos morning, after davening, they had a Kiddush in Shul. This was before Corona. So they're having a Kiddush in the social hall. The Kaddish Loimar Kedusha Rabbo.
Without a mask.
Without a mask. Of course, without a mask. That the master recites for us the great Kiddush. Kiddush Rabbo. Hovule. They gave him a cup of wine. Sava. He thought to himself, Manihu Kiddush Rabbo. Kedusha Rabbo. What are they talking about when they said, I should make the great Kiddush? Amar, they said to themselves, Mechdi, Kola brachis kula b'yei pri agapen amru b'reisha. All brachis. What do we say first? We always say b'yei pri agapen. Even Friday night, we first say b'yei pri agapen, and then we make the bracha to sanctify the Shabbos. So he said, Omar, so you know what? I'll start off with that. It's perfectly safe to start off with b'yei pri agapen. You can't go wrong,
yeah.
You can't go wrong. Omar, b'yei pri agapen. Agidbe. So what he called, he said B'yei Pri Agafen, and he acted as a chazan. He schlepped it out. B'yei Pri Agafen. And then he saw Chazi Lahu Sabo, that there was a certain old man, the Gozis Vishose, that was bending down to drink from the wine. So he saw it. Perfect. That's all they really mean for me to say was B'yei Pri Agafen. That's their definition of a Kiddush Rabbah, the great Kiddush. Rabashi said on himself, HaChocham eino b'roshoi. A wise man has high eyes in his head. In other words, he thinks out with his eyes. Yeah, go ahead, Daddy.
I was thinking that really it's not a raya that because
of course not.
No, because the Gemara says it was an old man that bent down to drink.
Right.
Why does it say an old man? Because an old man doesn't have any gedult. You're schlepping this thing. He has no patience to wait, and he doesn't.
Daddy, you're not saying this from any knowledge, personal knowledge. It's just what you've observed, right?
That's right.
I would give another answer, because in Mesechtes Chulin, that Bava Miral of the top Tosfos says every time the Gemara says Ahu Saba, this old man, it was Eliyahu Hanavi.
Yeah.
So it's possible that he recognized Eliyahu Hanavi in the thing, and if Eliyahu Hanavi bent down to drink wine, you got to figure it's good. Right. I think that's a better answer. But I just want to put you Shrago, the great Kiddush. It happens to be that my grandchildren call my father the great Zaidi. If I'm Zaidi, my father is the great Zaidi. If Daddy, every time Alex talks to you, what does he call you? The great Zaidi. There you go. The Kiddush Rabbah. You see? It's not a made-up language. Here we go. Amri b'nei Reb Chia, the sons of Reb Chia said, Mishul hibdu b'matzah Shabbos, those who do not say Havdalah for whatever reason, they have to catch a flight to Matzah Shabbos, Magdu b'hoylech b'chora Shabbos kuloi, they can go say Shabbos throughout the entire week, and as we already explained, that really means until Tuesday night. And this is where the Gemara points it out. 106.83. The ad kama, until when? Rav Zera, ad revi b'Shabbos, until the fourth day of the week. That means up to, but not including Wednesday. Because like we said before, the Jewish day starts at night. So the fourth day of the week is Tuesday night, leading into Wednesday. So therefore you can do it until Tuesday. And again, I point out that on Wednesday, when we say the Shiras Hayoim of Wednesday, Kel Mekamei Sophia, we add an extra 2 sentences from the next kapitel Tehillim, which is Ranu no Hashem, no real Itzur Yeshenu. Right? We add in the first 2 brachas. They're not part of that kapitel in Tehillim. They're part of the next kapitel. Because to say that Wednesday already is connected with the upcoming Shabbos. And we're going to actually see this right now in the Gemara. Says the Gemara, Ad kama amar Rav Zera, ad revi b'Shabbos. Ki hodi Yosef Rav Zera kamei de Rav Asi, as was the case when Rav Zera was sitting before Rav Asi. The Amri law, we say Rav Asi kamei de Rav Yochanan, or the case was Rav Asi sitting before Rav Yochanan. The Yosef B'Ka'ama, Le'inyan Gittin, in regard to divorce documents, how do you write it up? Chada b'Shabbata treyu telosa, the first day of the week, Sunday or Monday, the second day of the week, or telosa, the third day, Tuesday of the week, Basa Shapsa is considered to be after Shabbos. So you write, Yom Rishon Acher Kisisa, Shabbos Kisisa, Yom Sheni Acher Kisisa, Yom Shalishi Acher Kisisa, Arba B'Chamishi Umal Yoyma, Wednesday, Thursday, or Erev Shabbos, Kamei Shapsa is considered before the Shabbos. So you write, Yom Revi, Kodim Vayakel Pikudei. By the way, Jerry, happy birthday. How did the laning go? Jerry, how did the laning go? I got it up. He hears me over there. But Jerry's bar mitzvah parsha was this week.
That has to do when someone said to his wife, I'm giving you this get if you're going to give me 200 zuz. So she has till Tuesday night to give it to him, then the get is good.
Right. Then the get is chap. Very good. It's a tonight to get. By the way, Jerry, happy birthday. If you can hear. Very good. Abba Rav Yaakov Baraidi says Rav Yaakov Baraidi, but not on the flame. In other words, if you blow it and you didn't make Havdalah, if you didn't make it on Friday night, on Motzei Shabbos, as opposed to Havdalah that you have until Tuesday evening, you do not. Look at the last Rashbam on the page, all the way on the bottom, the second to last line. But not on the flame. If you did not bless on the flame, nearly tam, and I believe the reason is in the previous period, in the previous parak, because you do not bless the fire except on Motzei Shabbos. Why? Because this was the beginning of its creation. HaKadosh Baruch Hu on Motzei Shabbos taught Adam Arishan the secret of fire.
You don't say either.
Right. You don't say, well, the Gemara doesn't bring it down. But the logical reason you wouldn't say the whole the summon is really not a chiyuv in the way that the flame is. The flame, we're praising HaKadosh Baruch for the creation of the flame on Motzei Shabbos. Why do we do summon? Because the neshama yisera is leaving, the extra neshama is leaving, and we feel faint. We feel faint, so we smell the summon to revise ourselves. No. Obviously, if you didn't make Havdalah Motzei Shabbos and you kept right on going till Tuesday, you're not that connected to your neshama yisera. We're not going to make it. Go ahead and do the summon. Amar Rab Yeruna Amar Rab says Rabuna in the name of Rab, and now we're on Kuf Vav Amid Beis 106b1. 106b1. Okay? Now, here we go. Hanoito Yodov Lo Yekadesh, which is a fancy way of saying, if somebody washes for bread before saying Kiddush, so he washes for bread before he says Kiddush, on Friday night, he should not say the Kiddush himself, but he can fulfill his chiyuv of Kiddush by listening to somebody else. From here we learn two things. Number one, we have the minute that you're not allowed to talk out after you wash before you eat bread. In truth, it's only a minute. It's not a din. So you could talk out. That's the truth. The whole thing is about Hesach Hadas. By washing for bread and then doing Kiddush before you eat the bread, you're essentially breaking up the washing for bread from the kiddush. Since washing for bread is a chiyuv, you need to wash your hands before you eat bread, before you touch food. But kiddush does not require washing of the hands. The kiddush would become a break and would be hesach hadas. This way you could be yotzi with somebody else. So it goes like this. Hanoito yodav lo yikadosh. V'chein omer Rav Ada bar Abba omer Rav noto yodav lo yikadosh. I'm adding in these words. Everybody please take a look at the Hagoyas Habach. On the left-hand side of the Gemara, it says Miseres Hashas, and then under that it says Hagoyas Habach. The Bach, let's read it inside. Aleph, Hanoito Yodav lo yikadosh. V'chein omer Rav Ada bar Abba omer Rav noto Yodav lo yikadosh. Someone who washes his hands before bread and didn't make yet kiddush should have somebody else make kiddush for him. And on this, now we go back to the Gemara. Omer lohu Rav Yitzchak bar Shmuel. How did the Bach know this was missing? Because what's Omer lohu? Who did he say it to? Rabbi Yitzchak bar Shmuel bar Marta said to them. Who's them? Who's who? So Elamai, there was something missing in our Gemara. Omer this was, and that was Rav Ada bar Abba. Omer lohu Rabbi Yitzchak bar Shmuel bar Marta. Akati loy nach nafshe de Rav. Rav has not yet passed away. And we're already getting what he taught us.
Already
Zimnin we already forgot that he's still alive. Zimnin saginin habi kamina de kami de Rav. On many occasions, he stood before Rav on Friday night. Zimnin, sometimes, chavivo le ripsa, he was hungry. They slept out the davening Friday night. And so when they got home, Rav was very hungry. So the bread was more appealing to him from the Kiddush, Mekadesh Aripsa. And so he was Mekadesh, he said Kiddush over the bread. He said the Kiddush over the bread. Look at that. Because he was hungry. Zimran the Chabibah. What? Yeah, but let's talk it out. 1 second. The Zimran, Chabibah Chamra Mekadesh Chamra. And sometimes when they daven quickly, he was up to going there to make a kiddush on wine. So you see over here, number one, that you're allowed to make kiddush over bread. Number two, there are yekis that do that. They actually wash, and in reality, this is what they do. They wash,
make kiddush.
They make kiddush and then eat the bread right away.
They make guys who
come, and they make a mitzi. And there are guys who come from this. They're what do you call it? The yekis, the those from Germany, from Frankfurt. That was their minhag. That is still their minhag. In fact, but what do you see from Rav? That you could go ahead, wash, make kiddush, and eat the bread, because it doesn't say he was mekadesh over bread. That means he washed beforehand, because you're not allowed to eat bread without washing. Then he made kiddush, and then he ate the bread from Dor Zaraya. And in fact, that's where we paskin. That in fact, kiddush is not a hefsek. It's all one thing in our minds. Right. It's all one thing in our minds. Kiddush, washing, eating bread, it's all one thing together. Let's just go a little further. Amarav Huna Amarav. Tam Eina Mekadosh. If somebody tasted food, Toam Eina Mekadosh. If somebody tasted food before saying Kiddush on Friday night, that's it. He doesn't say any more Kiddush Friday night. The question is, and I don't know the answer, does he say the full Kiddush, the sanctification Kiddush, by day, according to this Mandi Omar? Don't know. It's not so clear in the Rishonim. But certainly, if he puts food in his mouth, before he made Kiddush Friday night, he was so hungry, he took a piece of bread right away, and he forgot to make Kiddush, no more Kiddush. Boy, mine Rav Chana bar Chanina me Rav Huna, said Rav Chana bar Chanina me from Rav Huna, To'am al sheyavdil. What happens if it's Motzei Shabbos? You come home from shul and everybody's not ready yet to make Havdalah, and you get hungry and you put a pizza into the toaster oven and you start eating your pizza. Then you remember, oops, I got to make Havdalah. What's the halacha whether I'm allowed to make Havdalah? Just like by Kiddush. Once I put something in my mouth, I'm allowed to make Kiddush on Friday night. Maybe after Shabbos, once I put something in my mouth, I can't make Havdalah either. Amalei, says Rav Huna, Ani omer tam mavdil. I say that one who tastes food before Havdalah can nonetheless say Havdalah. Rabbi Asi says, To'am eina mavdil. Rabbi Asi says, somebody that tastes food, some food before making Havdalah, that's it, cannot make Havdalah on Motzei Shabbos, right? The question is, can he make Havdalah the next day? That's a question. Okay, now, here we go. We'll do what? Rav Yirmiyah bar Abba iklu lebei Rav Asi. Rabbi Yirmiyah bar Abba went to the house of Rav Asi, ishtu b'toy midi, and he forgot on Motzei Shabbos. He came to visit him to make malava malka, and he forgot, and he started eating malava malka before making Havdalah. Havulei kosa b'abdil. They brought him a cup of wine, and he said Havdalah. Amalei Devaisayu, Rav Asi's wife. Remember, Rav Yirmiyah came to visit Rav Asi. Rav Asi's wife turned to Rav Asi and said, "V'hama lo yavrachi." But master, you don't do so. You hold Rav Asi. You just said Rav Asi paskins. Tam eino mavdil. If you eat something, you don't say. Amalei, he said, "Shavike, be quiet." Kerabe svirulei. He holds like his master, like Rav, and Rav says what? That even if you eat, you're allowed to make Havdalah. Okay, we have one. Let's just go a little further. Here we go. Amar Rav Yosef, Amar Shmuel, says Rav Yosef, Amar Shmuel, To'am ein mekadesh. If one tasted food before saying Kiddush Friday night, he does not make Kiddush. To'am ein mavdil. And if one therefore tastes food before saying Havdalah, it's already Motzei Shabbos, he does not say Havdalah. The Rabbi Oman, Rabbi says, Rabbi Omer, Rav Nachman, Omer Shmuel, the Rabbi said in the name of Rav Nachman, who said in the name of Shmuel, and this is the way we do paskin. This is the halacha, To'am mekadesh. If you forgot and you ate food before making Kiddush Friday night, you still make Kiddush. The To'am mavdil. And if one tastes food before Havdalah, even though it's already Motzei Shabbos, he does say Havdalah. Perfect. We are on the daf. Tomorrow, Mitzvah Shem, we do Kov Zayin Amid out from the top of the daf.